Hey everybody, Dylan Distraction here, coming to you live from Bat Atlantic Studios. Thought I'd do a quick back the drawing board, talk about comic book shirts on my drawing table, and let you know that Nuke Force is on Kickstarter right now, and time is running out. So definitely go right now and back Nuke Force on Kickstarter. Thanks so much to everybody that's backed it. Hopefully, we're unlocking some stretch goals. Really appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and energy and support. So, Herbe Trimpe, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Really great Hulk artist, did a bunch of other stuff. Here he is working on the Defenders, and I love this stuff. So if you look at Herbe's work, this is his work here. Really, really fantastic artist. Had a fun sort of Jack Kirby-ish sort of thing going on. Really blocky, fun, big action characters. First appearance of Wolverine. It was Herbe Trimpe and Hulk, whatever number that was. I don't remember issues off the top of my head. So, fun classic comic book coloring. Classic old comic book paper. Love this stuff. So, I wanted to share with you a little bit of Herbe Trimpe biography, blog post. Him doing talking about his experience as a comic book creator. So, it is called Old Superheroes Never Die. They join the real world. And it's the New York Times. This was in 1996. After 29 years as an artist for Marvel Comics, I got fired. 56-year-old, 2 children, still in college, and no job. Things started to get shaky 2 years before. The American comic book industry was taking hits from changing tastes in my youth market. Teenage boys had plenty of other entertainment options, mostly electronic, and Marvel couldn't seem to lure the general population. Never mind that in Japan, comic books sell in the millions to all ages. It didn't help that Ronald Perlman's acquisition binge overextended the company, or that Marvel flooded the market with spin-offs and endless #1 issues, devaluing the collections of the faithful. By 1995, a new wave of artists and writers had supplanted the older pros, and my employer was giving me less and less work. I had joined Marvel in 1967 after a year in Vietnam and 3 years as a student at the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. Stan Lee, then the editor-in-chief, hired me as a production assistant. I would draw comics, including The Incredible Hulk and the Fantastic Four, over the next 3 decades. The last 2 from my home studio in Kurhonskin, 120 miles from Manhattan, where I live with my wife, Linda Fite, a writer, Claws of the Cat. I met at Marvel. I have kept a journal. So this is his journal. I've kept a journal more for therapeutic reasons than anything else. These excerpts recount my journey from Hulk to 7th grade art teacher. March 15th, 1995. Fantastic Four has been cut. Fantastic Four Unlimited is the only regular comic I'm drawing. With pages reduced, my work is cut in half. Called Nell, who apologized. He tried to get me more work to meet the 4-page weekly quota, but things don't look good. There have been a bunch of firings. This is Herbe Trimpe's journal. This is him writing in 1995 about his experience in the comic book industry. And take that for what it is. Interesting to hear this person's perspective. Fascinating to see how things have changed and how things haven't changed. All right. April 1st, I'm beginning to hate drawing comics. It becomes harder and harder to compete with the new creative stars. Experience doesn't seem to matter. May 27th, turned 56 yesterday. Sent in my application today to the State University of New York's Empire State College. The Center for Distance Learning offers credit for life experience and independent study for people like me who can't attend regular classes. Not sure what I'll major in, not art, maybe history. August 10th, accepted at Empire State. A mentor will help design a degree program. November 20th, FF Unlimited was canceled this week, no warning. Went down to New York yesterday, all the editors either in meetings or out to lunch. Talked to Human Resources at Marvel today. The lady seemed embarrassed, said maybe I should consider retiring. I told her I wasn't going to hold the gun to my head. They'd have to shoot me themselves. With a family, I need the healthcare benefits and income. December 15th, no matter what I say or who I call or write at Marvel, I can't get assigned another book. I've tried reason, outrage, guilt trips, and begging. Nada. I haven't been able to scrounge together enough work to meet my monthly quota. The place is a shambles. When I press, they admit sales are down and so is morale. The scuttlebutt is that more layoffs are coming. January 3rd, 1996, more firings, about 19 people gone, including Nell. January 8th, Worked on my own comic strip about a minor league baseball team. I'm calling it Chicken Scratch. It's going very slowly. I guess I'm not that interested. What to do? I'm trying to be convinced that change is good, and I will be guided toward positive ends. The upheaval is great at times, almost unbearable. January 11th. Finally talked to my tutor at the first Empire State course, Far Eastern History. He's assigned 2 texts and will confer once a week. What a long, drawn-out process. The writing, the paperwork, trying to connect with the tutors for each course. If I didn't have all this time and money invested, I'd quit. January 23rd. The job thing is a downer, but I'm generally excited and optimistic. Tom DeFalco at Marvel called after dinner to see how I was doing. When he was editor-in-chief, he kept me working during another slow period when all the new editors were hiring their pet artists. Great chat. He knows some people at King Features. January 26th. Rumors, and more rumors. Marie says she's having the same trouble I am, getting just the odd coloring job. No substantial work at all. The checks keep coming, but this is getting weirder and weirder. It helps to talk to someone in the same boat. February 3rd. I feel like I'm turning into somebody else. Freak out in the AM. Anxiety, I think. Feel dizzy and panicky. The world closing in. Shaky and sullen the rest of the morning. Chicken Scratch seems hopeless. Inked 4 installments and it's mediocre. Not at all as I imagined. What did I imagine? February 16th. Marie called. They have terminated her contract. The blade swings closer. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop right on my drawing board. February 18th. Wrote again to my editor-in-chief at Marvel, offering to take any work. Can't get anyone to answer my calls. March 5th. I've decided to go for a BA in art. It's the shortest route to a degree. I'm thinking about teaching. March 7th. Spring. 2 weeks away. Packaged strip with cover letter to submit to 5 syndicates. March 14th. Got a rejection slip from United Press International in 1 week. It's hard to see how they even looked at it. Their guidelines said 8 to 12 weeks. 1 week? Glad I knew it had to be. So why get bent out of shape? 1 down, 4 to go. March 22nd. Contacted or attempted to contact the art department heads at 4 schools. Marist, Bard, Vassar, and SUNY. New Paltz. Things slid downhill in the afternoon. Got real depressed. Then I got a rejection from King Features. That makes 3 to go. Saw the comment on the way to Kingston. Where's Marvel? April 2nd. Where's Marvel? Linda says call. Marie says no. Why bother? Let it ride. My order of battle is just about wrapped up. The list of projects I laid out in November to work on, I don't know exactly what to do. Worked in the yard with Linda in the afternoon. April 29th. A bright spot. Got a letter from Tribune Media Services. A submission editor liked the strip and is going to pass it on. May 1st, lo and behold, got a call from Marvel. A message about a job on X Factor. Breakdowns. 6 months of nothing, and now a one-shot job of loose pencil drawings. The call is upsetting. May 13th, well, the wait is over. Today it came via Federal Express. I got fired by mail. Effective June 8th, no warning, no phone call. The letter was delivered with another package I was expecting from Marvel. You couldn't tell what it was by the envelope. A stealth termination. Opened it up. Bang. Gotcha. Ha. I've been waiting a long time, and still, they caught me off guard. Got a package from Marvel today. A pile of termination agreement paperwork. I'm supposed to sign forms swearing that I won't talk trash about Marvel, won't reveal any superhero secret identities, won't say anything mean about Stan Lee, won't make a fuss. Another legal mumbo-jumbo. If I don't sign it, I don't get termination benefits. May 20th. Wrote a letter to Marvel asking for more severance pay. It struck me that I should send it FedEx on their account number. Small thing, but it made me feel good. Got rejection from Tribune Media. Oh well, I did have a hope. Think I'll rework the strip and submit it again in a year. The entire comics field is in trouble, but I've got to do something. June 7th, revenge is still in my heart. June 7th, the only entry is revenge is still in my heart. June 8th, Stone Ridge Library Fair. At a booth selling old comics. The hundreds that Marvel sent me over the years to help the library funds. Kids would ask, are any of these yours? Yours you drew? Signed a few autographs for some middle-aged diehard fans. Ironic, huh? Considering the situation. June 9th. Final strip rejection yesterday from LA Times Syndicate. The plan to go to unemployment tomorrow. Plan is to go to unemployment tomorrow. June 10th. Hits me today about this being the first weekday of no official job. It is the first time since before the Air Force 34 years ago. An interesting sensation, like hanging over the edge of a cliff, but maybe I can fly. June 11th, went to Kingston to sign up for unemployment. The line was a real mixed bag of humanity. Felt awkward. but the staff was patient and helpful. The thought of going for job interviews depresses me, but the thought of never working again depresses me even more. June 26th, went to a job interview at a company that makes sports memorabilia and other stuff. They want an artist with experience in Quark and Photoshop and all that computer stuff. Hey, I can draw rings around your Adobe Illustrator. They don't know or care. July 17th, the session at the NYS Department of Labor was very stimulating. I'm amazed how many programs are available. I took a bunch of notes. My head is filled with possibilities. I've been classified as a dislocated worker. There's a possibility of having my education paid for, at least in part, by either the state or the VA or both. July 23rd. I feel pretty positive lately. I like the schooling, just the idea of it. I also enjoy the writing. July 28th. Sent out flyers to Extreme, Dark Horse, Malibu, Fantagraphics, Topps, DC, and about 5 other comic companies. August 1st. I made 4 calls for jobs. If I'm to put comics behind me, I need to go through this. I wanted a journey into the unknown, and I've got it. August 11th. I can't stop obsessing about going to the Department of Labor. One of the people there wanted to cut my benefits. There's something about dealing with government agencies that makes you feel like a criminal. What am I going to do about work? A freelance thing in Bedford looks like a possibility. I feel flat on everything. School, running, building models. I weigh 165 and worry about getting heavier. I've been having a lot of disturbing dreams. September 1st. I picked up the van at the body shop. Old thing made new. Picked up the Underwood at the typewriter shop. Another old thing made new. The question is, can old things like myself be made new? September 14th. I've got the Empire State stuff planned for the year. Computer graphic design, college algebra, and a primitive art course this fall. Then Renaissance art, Far Eastern history, and English lit survey class next semester. That should do it for enough credit hours for the BA. Like the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, I think I need the piece of paper. At least I'll be accomplishing something this year. October 3rd, wrote a letter to the DOL to try to get assistance in taking Empire State classes in Quark Express, Adobe Illustrator, and Photoshop, explaining that learning those skills would increase my chances of finding full-time work. October 5th, Linda went to New Paltz to see Mose Allison in concert. I couldn't bring myself to go. I don't feel like being with people. Hate to answer those "how's it going" questions. October 7th. The computer graphics course is going pretty well. The Adobe Illustrator exercises are simple, but the computer aspect of the whole business is so cold. The lines are cold, the tone is cold, and it seems so silly to be drawing with a mouse and software when I can do it faster and better by hand. December 15th. I am so grouchy with Linda. Criticize her for every little thing. She drives me nuts. With her implacable calm and worried demeanor, I think she's in denial. December 18th. Got next semester's courses lined up, including a couple of study groups in New Paltz. I like being in class, so I'm looking forward to that. Even driving across the mountain in January and February. December 28th. Marvel is bankrupt. I wonder what Stan thinks. It's a shame what Perlman did to the company. The corporate suits. As Flo always says, Herb, they just don't care. Don't you get it? January 29th, 1997. Sometimes I just want to walk out of the house and keep going. I feel extraneous. Despite all my interests and enthusiasms, I guess I still buy into that notion of a man as breadwinner. I can intellectually deal with not contributing income to the family, but emotionally, it's another matter. It gnaws at me. March 1st, I talked to an advisor in the art department at SUNY about applying for the Master of Fine Arts program. I was encouraged. She thought I should take some preliminary painting courses. I don't have the time. March 11th, Ron Perlman and Carl Icahn are at each other's throats over Marvel. March 14th, took a bunch of paintings to Kingston to have slides made to submit with my application to SUNY New Paltz. The head of the department seemed to have a snotty attitude about my commercial art background. May 1st, was not accepted to the MFA program at SUNY, I figured. May 23rd, sent in my application to SUNY New Paltz for the Master of Professional Studies in Humanistic Education program, designed for educators and human service professionals. Considers the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. It seems to center on an issue that is not normally found in our institutions, and that is compassion. June 9th. We all went to Empire State graduation ceremony at Rockland College, Community College. It was really wonderful. The hall was filled with families, including many kids of graduates. The graduates were encouraged to say a few words. Some of the stories of accomplishment were very touching. One guy bounded up to get his diploma and yelled, "Yo, it's a freaking miracle." It was great. June 13th, was accepted in the program in humanistic education. August 25th, first day of school. Everybody seemed to know everybody else except me. September 17th, had to give up my duties as deacon at St. John's Episcopal Church because of the full-time student workload. There's very little time for journaling. journal writing. Plus, with a new focus, I don't feel the need as much. March 17th, 1998. The amount of reading is monstrous. I'm determined to beat my C plus B minus high school average. May 21st. It's cool to have classroom buddies. My teacher friends and professionals have encouraged me to consider public education. They think I would have something to offer. July 13th. A judge approves a reorganization plan for Marvel Entertainment Group so it can emerge from bankruptcy protection. January 18th, 1999. My student teaching through Pace University in Pleasantville starts tomorrow. Half a semester in elementary school, half a semester in high school. I take the National Teachers Examination Core Battery Test on Saturday to get certified, 6 hours worth. I did the practice test this morning, including getting up at 6 and beginning at 7:30, just like the real thing. I did okay on 2 sections, but the professional knowledge part was iffy. January 19th, first day of school at Truman Moon School in Middleton. I'm student teaching kindergarten and first grade. Greg, the regular art teacher, who will take me under his wing, briefed the kids on the color wheel and how it works. They are extremely cute. Greg handles these kids very well, and they behave with respect. It is important to set guidelines and stick to the rules. I can see a certain face has to be adopted. January 21st. I can see myself as I observe a detached kid kind of thing and wonder what I'm doing here. All those years in the rather isolated position of a commercial artist, and now at 59, this. January 26th. Greg is using Picasso's Blue Period to teach the kids about cool colors. I love it when a kid says Pablo Picasso. I got a hug at the end of the day from a kid who said he was going to miss me until the next class. I still haven't gotten names down. 5 classes a day, 25 classes a week. That's a lot of kids. February 8th. The kids don't listen to me. Well, a few do. The restrictions are tight. Against the wall, hats off, no getting up, noise to a minimum, teacher as cop. I don't really like it. February 10th. I'm beginning to hate this, but I'm not quitting. Teachers in the grad seminar class are very supportive. Many said last night that student teaching was the most miserable experience they had. March 2nd. The lessons on making kites is working well. My PACE evaluator, Jack, came to observe today. It was Mrs. B's class, which was the noisiest, rudest, most raucous they've ever been. They did a good job, but I looked pretty bad, which is what I was. Maybe public school is not for me. I don't understand discipline, and man, can these kids jerk you around. Greg says it will come in time. I'm not convinced. March 12th, my last day at Truman Moon. I'm not looking back. The kids have been awesome and exhausting. Some didn't understand I was temporary. Aren't you going to come back, they asked? Very cute. March 26th, first day at Washingtonville High School. The day seems to be without as much pressure as elementary school. I'm jumping right in. We'll begin the Chinese art project tomorrow. March 22nd, a couple of kids already know which buttons to push. March 25th, had fun. Apprehensive as always, but the 2 new projects in commercial art and printmaking are getting some lift under their wings. Landscapes are coming nicely, some excellent stuff. How can one day leave you feeling so rotten and the next like, hey, I can do this? March 26th, good news. I passed all 3 of the core battery sections, scoring higher than the national average. All I need to do is get through student teaching. April 6th, the Chronicle of Higher Education has an ad for a job at Savannah College of Art and Design in Georgia, professor of sequential art. I've got a strong body of published work, and I'm a teacher. It sounds perfect for me. April 15th, all goes well. The last 2 days have been great. Wrapping up the Chinese landscape, it's amazing how fantastic some of the work is. Better than I could do. May 7th, got a letter from Human Resources at Savannah. They are very interested. They want me to go down to visit, maybe teach a workshop. May 15th, went to a teacher's job fair. Left resumes with several school districts looking for art teachers. We'll see what comes of it. Requirements for my master's almost wrapped up. May 18th, last class at SUNY New Paltz. Grade point average, not counting this class, 3.96. May 26th, birthday again. Beats the alternative from 0 to 60. June 3rd, flew down to Savannah yesterday. The visit didn't seem to gel. June 4th, feeling unsettled about Savannah. One of the guys in the department was very excited I might teach there. Most of the others present were lukewarm or chilly. No matter what goes down, that school could really use me. Or someone like me. Not a one had any field experience to speak of. July 1st, sent a resume in response to a newspaper ad for an art position at Eldred Central School in Sullivan County. This is the first of a new generation resume that excludes dates that can pinpoint my age. Vern and others had advised me to do this. They look for the age thing, he says. Gee whiz golly, I thought age discrimination was illegal. July 7th, flew back to Savannah to teach a workshop as part of the job application process. Great time with the students. We'll get back to you, they say. July 9th, the Eldred principal, Ivan Katz, called today. Even if I could come in for an interview on Tuesday, told him we were going to the beach tomorrow. He said, how about today? So I drove over. Nice guy. Loves the Hulk. An amazing school. like something out of Father Knows Best, built in 1941, brick with high ceilings, old slate clapboards, lots of varnished wood, trim, and parquet floors. Neat. July 13th. Haven't enjoyed the vacation. Obsessed about whether somebody will offer me a job. I keep calling home to see if any of the messages on the machine. Finally, there was a message from Eldred giving me a call. Yes, nothing from Savannah. Called Savannah. The department chairman said there never really was a job. The ad was an old ad run by mistake. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, hope you weren't inconvenienced, and so on. Talk about backpedaling. July 20th. Met with Eldred Superintendent Candace Mazur. I sat on the front steps for a few minutes before the meeting. I noticed the sign in front was painted in the school colors, green and gold, the same as my high school. Their mascot is a yellow jacket. Ours was a hornet. I was my usual over-talkative self, but she didn't hold it against me. She offered the position, 7th grade art, remedial math, and a class with special ed kids. It feels nice to be wanted. I feel pretty good about teaching in public school. Maybe I can make a contribution. That's corny. September 8th, first day of class at Eldred, up at 5 a.m., very foggy on Route 17. It's a little over an hour door to door, but I enjoy the transition time. Even though today is more or less an orientation day, I got them drawing the last 20 minutes. The kids are great. A little rambunctious, but it seemed almost too easy. September 13th, Monday morning. Man, it's early. Forgot my lunch, my wallet, and my money. My lessons are organized, but my life isn't. Bruce, the high school art teacher, says I should put my car keys and wallet in the fridge with the lunch bag. He's got 30 years of teaching experience, so I listen to everything he says. The class came up with rules for conduct. Assigned a dictionary person. If an unfamiliar word arises, that person will look up. We'll keep a list. Also introduce the riddle of the week. We got until Friday to figure it out. Winners get a fancy refrigerator magnet. Reviewing basic elements of art, which are part of state guidelines. I didn't know what they were myself until I started teaching. I explained they draw examples. Seemed a little boring to me. September 16th. Had to have a little talk with a student. Some are very accomplished at being passive-aggressive, down to a science. In fact, regular Einsteins at it. I tend to cut the kids a lot of slack. I told them in the beginning they would have more freedom in this class than others because of the workshop environment. They're beginning to run with the ball. I should have kept my big mouth shut. September 21st. I think I'm suffering from post-job getting depression today. It's like, okay, here you are. Now what? The kids are having a good time with the diorama I showed them how to make palm trees out of brown paper and construction paper. September 24th. Something like an anxiety attack upon arriving. It slipped away as things got moving, but I feel shaky. Maybe I'm too old for this. The kids were wound up. Maybe they sensed something. I'm trying to develop that face, but it doesn't come natural. September 27th. A couple of kids were really off the wall today. I suppose I should write them up. I have refrained from doing that because they calm down before a talking to. I know disruptions take away from the rest of the class, but if the class is micro-community, which I believe it is, doesn't the class as a whole have a responsibility toward the one, just as much as the one has a responsibility toward the class? In society, I'm not sure it's right to remove the offender, and everyone else goes along, business as usual. Everyone has to be responsible. September 28th, feeling pretty good today, and the class went extremely well. Angels all. I concluded that the way the class acts is in response to the way the teacher acts in various subtle ways. The trick is to keep positive no matter what. I struggle with this. October 15th, teaching is like flying a plane. You leave school one day, feeling like you're spiraling down toward the trees, expecting that the next day crash will come. You brace yourself for the impact, only to find that things have leveled out at treetop height, and you climb and enjoy the remainder of the flight. October 22nd, ordered a varsity jacket today, green and gold, with my old baseball number 5. November 4th, second period art class, observed and evaluated by Ivan, the principal today. The kids were perfect. I didn't bribe them. Post-evaluation meeting went well. He thinks I can teach. I felt pretty good. November 5th, Friday, half day today. If Ivan had been here today, he would have fired me. I had 2 kids on the floor who wouldn't get up. The occasional missile across the room, endless interruptions. I gave up. Are real teachers supposed to say that? December 1st, feeling very positive last couple of weeks. Administrative staff very supportive. Got my varsity jacket today, full circle. Do-it-yourself studies. With distance learning booming as an education option, independent study has become even more flexible. Adults who are unable to attend traditional colleges can design their own course of study to suit their schedules and interests. Here is a sample of colleges that can help. Skidmore, State University of New York, Thomas Edison State College, and I would add York County Community College in Wells, Maine. I love reading this. Thank you so much for listening to me read this incredible Herbe Trimpe journal. This is available at archive.newyorktimes.com. Look up Old Superheroes Never Die. They join the real world. Fascinating. And please, read this yourself, share it around. I think it's important that Herbe Trimpe's memory lives on. He passed away a few years ago, but a fantastic artist. And hearing him make that transition from commercial artist, and penciler at Marvel, artist at Marvel, to being a teacher, really, really interesting hearing that transition occur and what he went through. So thank you so much for listening. Nuke Force on Kickstarter right now. Okay, thanks. Bye.